Obviously, one of the things that we constantly talk about is what's happening in our state capital, whether it's policy, whether it's budgets. We spend a lot of time talking about the impacts, not just on our 10 large school districts across North Carolina, but the impacts on all school districts and all children. We constantly offer to our governor, to our state legislators, our desire to serve, to inform, to help shape policy, to help be part of budget conversations. And we're always honored to be asked to do that. And really that is a part, we feel, of our responsibility. Our 10 school districts are united in, first of all, offering our appreciation to both the governor and the Senate for making teacher salary increases a huge component of their budget proposals. We have spoken at length about the need to attract and keep the best teachers in our public education systems in North Carolina, that for our state to continue the history of excellent public education and to continue to improve it, we must invest in our teachers, keep our talented teachers in North Carolina. All apologies to Dr. Greer in Houston. We don't want them going to other places. We want to keep them right here in North Carolina. And we want to attract the best and brightest from across the country. It's an amazing state. We are so excited about what all our districts are doing and the future of the state. But that only happens if we invest in quality teachers and pay them a wage that allows them to prosper and to do the important work that they do in service to our children. And so in our 10 large school districts, let me share with you the possible cuts and loss of positions that we could be facing. In all 10 of our school districts, we could be facing about $21.2 million of a reduction in monies for teachers. Together, that could mean possibly 425 teaching positions being lost in our classrooms just in our 10 school districts alone. Teacher assistants, it would be $93.9 million loss of teacher assistants across our 10 large school districts. 3,152 teacher assistants could be lost. Transportation, although we don't know the positions because we haven't seen the specifics of how the transportation budget would be cut, just in our 10 school districts combined, a cut of $13.2 million. Central office, a combined cut of $1.4 million, for a total of $129,700,000 in cuts. That would total at least 3,398 losses of positions of teachers and teacher assistants.
It appears to me that there is an imbalance. The economy is growing, and yet we are cutting, and the cuts this year possibly could be as draconian as those cuts we had to make in 2010 or so. So I go back to the teacher, and I look at the third grade Read to Achieve. Folks, we need hands. We need hands working with children who are struggling to read. We need hands who are working with children who are struggling to do math. And the only way we can get hands is attach them to a body, and the only way we can get bodies is to pay them.
Education in particular, this state has always been held up in this country as a leader. I don't believe leadership says we grow our way through reducing education. Education is a great investment. We've already eliminated 600 jobs. So that teacher doing a great initiative that will improve our schools doesn't have a teacher assistant, because when we had to absorb cuts, some $30 million, we had to eliminate teacher assistants in the second and third grades.
But add to that are more rigorous standards, which we fully support, more difficult assessments, which we fully support. However, we haven't given our teachers additional resources. In these budgets, our textbooks allotments remain at $14 per student, when the average cost of a book is $75 a student. In the 10 largest districts in this state, we are growing. We are growing. We don't get enough textbook money to buy new books for the additional enrollment that we get every year, much less replace them or provide new resources in these third grade classrooms that have new standards. Much less technology. Gosh, we'd love to have some iPads in third grade to work on Read to Achieve.
We support the governor and the Senate's proposals for pay increases. We hope as the House releases its budget either later this week or next week that it also will call for teacher pay increases. but how those pay increases occur matter. And after years of cuts to public education, we believe there are other ways for those raises to be funded. There has to be other ways for those raises to be funded. Remember, last year the legislature voted to have tax reduction. That brings in $2.5 billion less over the next 5 years to North Carolina. You could still do tax reduction as well as do the teacher salary increases by being creative and looking at different ways to approach that. Those are ideas that different legislators have put on the table as well.